My name's Thom Hunt. Fishing is my passion, and I've been at it since I was a kid.
I'm just a bit of a slave to it. Have been for years.
Normally, I like to control my environment for an easier life.
Come on.
But now, I want to leave my comfort zone behind.
The next 5 minutes is going to be critical.
I'm challenging myself to catch different species.
Oh, it feels decent too.
In places I don't know and against the clock. I want to genuinely test my angling skills.
That was mine, baby.
On my journey, I'll fish where I really shouldn't. Where the conditions are against me, where the chances of hooking anything are slim.
We must have zero chance.
Or when I've simply got to work hard.
Feels like pulling a whale up. Look at it.
I can beg a little assistance from experts with low knowledge.
Don't let me down on the net, Phil.
But that's all the help I'll get.
Yeah, hit it. Right.
This is my mission alone, and I must push myself to the limit.
Normally like catching them one at a time. Ah, yes.
If I'm going to succeed.
Oh, I've never seen a bream this big before.
The trap set.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts. It hurts so much.
So where am I headed this time? Well, I've got a week and I want something big. There's a country I haven't fished and it's fantastic conditions and once-in-a-lifetime catches. It's Spain. So I've hopped on a plane, just picked up the hire car, and I'm on my way to a place called Extremadura. Extremadura is in western Spain on the border of Portugal. It's a remote area of mountains, forests and lakes, and it's a 3-hour drive from Madrid. So the fish I've come here to catch is a barbel. Now there's several species of barbel, but in this particular area, there's a famous one called the chamizo barbel. It's kind of like a cross between like a torpedo and a shark, and they get big. Now I'd love to catch a big one, but to be perfectly honest, I'd be happy with one that's any size. Barbel are a freshwater fish. They're hard to land and pretty large. A typical adult will range from 25 to 100 centimetres in length and weigh anything up to 10 kilos. The name barbel comes from the Latin barba, meaning beard, in reference to the 2 pairs of fang-like feelers on the sides of the mouth. It's a fantastic sport fish and a great target for me. Now I'm going to go and meet a man who should, fingers crossed, be able to put me in touch with one. This is Craig Reed, a wily British fishing guide who fell in love with this sleepy part of Spain and made it his home. Despite starting life in Hull, he's now regarded as one of the locals, and as many of them will tell you, he's probably the best angler in town. And right now, I'm pinning all my hopes on getting him to agree to help me to catch a barbel. So, here goes. I'll be honest, that wasn't quite the reaction I was hoping for. Well, that went well. He, basically laughed in my face. I said that I wanted to catch a barbel, and he looked at me and said, "The river's just come up 2 meters in the last week. Our chances are slim to none." I've come a long way for this. But this week though. Kindly agreed to help me in my quest, and the next day he's arranged for his assistant to take me to a lake which is known for large barbel. Called La Serena, and was formed when the valley was flooded after a dam was built back in the 90s of almost 140 square kilometers.
Sun's coming through, shining down upon us. I think today this lake is over 30 kilometres long. We're about in the middle, and he reckons it's 15-20 k's down and 15 to 20 k's up. That is a lot of water. You guys come with me. Just
I'm trying out something new. Well, It's new to me anyway. It's called bed. Chair which enables you to maneuver very precisely so you can accurately target key specific areas.
Possible?
Are you confident?
I hope.
Yeah, okay, good. So, because I ask everyone this question, from 0 to 10, with 10 being yes, we'll definitely catch, and 0 being we definitely won't catch, where do you think today?
In the middle.
That's good enough for me. And the barbel going to be this big to this big?
About from 30 to 15 centimeters.
A1, that's going to be a good start. I'm looking forward to this. I've never done anything like this before. This is great. Fish finder, electronic. Got batteries in here. Rod. Ready?
Okay.
Takes a bit of getting used to. This has got to be some of the most exciting fishing I've ever done. Awesome.
Now, although I'm targeting barbel, there are also plenty of pike in this lake, so I could end up catching one of those instead, or hopefully as well. The big question is, with such a lot of water from recent rainfall raising the level by 2 meters, clarity put the fish off. By the way, if you're wondering where Craig, don't worry, he'll be joining us later. He's decided to use his boat. It might not be so precise to maneuver, but he can take in a much shorter period of time. So, with 3 boats and 3 rods in the water, are we going to triple our chances of bringing in the magic barbel?
For this type of fishing, we're using relatively short rods, and it's called vertical jigging. So essentially we've got these little fish imitation lures. All these species we're going for are predatory. There's imitating a small fish in the water, but I'm using this little contraption to find out the depth, and then I'm dropping straight down, letting the spool go down, and then I can feel the bottom. Once I know that, I can wind up a little bit so I can come up a metre or 2, work that layer, and it's really just a game of trying to find out where the fish are, if I can spot them on here, trying to get at the same depth, trying to get a bite.
Because this is a flooded valley, you really have to try and imagine what's going on under the water. And the larger fish tend to patrol up and down this old channel. So, we're trying to position ourselves in a spot that the fish might pass. Meanwhile, Craig, well, not entirely sure what he's up to.
We're supposed to be meeting the lads in the belly boats the other side of the lake. Fish on the old fish finder, so we're just going to have a dabble, see if any. It looks like barbel.
I would have been gutted if attempt to land a big one before he'd even met me were realised, but they came to nothing. We really need to meet up to.
Not as much as normal.
Yeah.
I've been over the other side to see if they're in the deeper gully, and there's not a lot of fish. There's some fish, but not a lot.
I've spotted fish in this area about 10 or 11 metres.
Yeah.
I would have hit. I've seen enough of them on here now.
Yeah.
Despite trying several more locations, it's with some disappointment I have to admit day 1 has been a washout. That 2-metre rise in water had a bigger effect than we thought, because there wasn't one angler that caught on the entire lake today. As I start my second day, I've still got high hopes. A valley called Oreya. Though the fish here don't tend to be as big, there are more of them, so hopefully easier to catch. That being said, in this lake, Justo recently caught a huge chamizo barbel weighing nearly 16 kilos. We've got a misty start this morning. I think it's going to be a full day. To say where we'll be fishing today is remote is something of an understatement, and without Gusto's expert local knowledge, I'd be completely stuffed.
A very eerie scene. It's incredibly misty for company as these sheep. But this is the spot. This is where Gusto had his record. I don't know, I'm gonna have to stand back a bit. Probably about this big. We're using light rods. I'm so excited. This is gonna be good. Didn't catch yesterday, but it feels good. Feels right.
I've got the location, I've got the best local know-how available, I've got the desire, and now is a fish.
If we don't catch something today, happy bunny.
The waters are eerily calm. But even with the fish finder, I can't find one. A whole morning is wasted and it's driving me mad.
Honestly, I've actually got a headache. I've been concentrating for what doesn't seem like it is a day and a half.
Don't worry, I haven't suddenly lost the plot. I've seen some movement in the water. It's not a bubble, sadly, but it's something else I want to take a closer look at.
Crayfish. Just, it's only shallow here. It's only about 1 metre deep, and they're scuttling along the bottom. And in the UK, we get 2 species, a small native species and a big American signal, and I don't recognise this species. Fish eat them, and I've actually got a couple of imitation crayfish lures in my box. They're funny little. So they eat dead fish, they eat fish eggs, small crustaceans. Really, they'll eat whatever they can get their hands on, claws on, should I say? Right, I'm gonna swim backwards. It's quite cool. Swim off. There you go.
Gusto has suggested we try a different spot on the lake. Every time we move, my sense of disappointment is building.
Another bridge spot. I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna get anything all week, but crack on. I asked Gusto, when was the last time you went for 2 full days without catching a fish or even having a bite? And he just paused for a minute and went,